What is up, guys? This is just kind of an off-the-cuff channel. I guess you could call it update or whatever. Nothing big. Well, I guess it is something kind of big. We're in January right now. January 10th, I believe, is my 10-year anniversary. 10 years since I started my very first review on YouTube, which was Predestination. I think I did a couple of videos before that, or it might have been after, but they weren't like pertaining to what my channel was at the time. I fully focused on covering movies. This was January 2015. I said, that's when I committed. I am going to do this. I'm going to talk about movies. I didn't have a plan as like, am I going to go to movies every week and talk about them? No, I just wanted to talk about movies that I loved. And most of them at the time in my mind were going to be movies from the past. That, some of my favorite movies, like some of the Halloween movies, like the first Halloween movie I reviewed was Halloween 6. So I didn't really have a trajectory. I didn't know what I wanted the channel to be. I just kind of did it because I wanted to talk about movies. I didn't even have an idea of like what subscribers were and how many I wanted to get. I just wanted to make a video, publish it, put it out there. That was my mindset when I started. I know a lot of people, they get into YouTube these days and they have a goal in mind, which is fine, which is great. They say, I'm going to start making videos right now and I'm going to shoot for the stars and I'm going to get, 100,000 subscribers. That was not my mindset at all when I started. I think I just was thinking day by day, and I'll do this until maybe I get bored of it and then I don't do it anymore. And then next thing you know, people from the community started reaching out and it became this like collaborative effort, even when you are doing it alone. And I think that's just what started the thing growing is, building a community. I didn't even know about building a community and it being, important at the time. I get to put myself down. I guess I was just kind of self-serving. I just wanted to talk about movies. That's it. And put it out there just to see if I could do it. I grew up watching Siskel and Ebert and any kind of movie news program that I could watch. I've been a movie fan pretty much my whole life, ever since I saw Superman 2 in the theater when I was 6 years old. So here we are 10 years later and I've built something. Drumdums is a thing now. It's interesting. It's nothing big, in the grand scheme of things. When you look at freaking, you got like Asmongold and you got freaking Mr. Beast and people with millions and millions of, I'm still very, very, very small, but I've carved out a little bit of a niche, which is kind of cool. And more importantly, it's still fun. I take breaks here and there, but for the most part, I was thinking about this. In 10 years of doing this, I rarely ever took a long break. I rarely ever took more than a week off. I might have taken a week off. That's at the longest. I don't know if I've ever taken more than a week off doing this. And that's just because I've always enjoyed it. It's always given me an avenue to, even sometimes relieve stress. That's what this does. When you have the world upon your shoulders and you just want to like freaking crawl in a hole, the thing that brought me out of it was making videos and talking with the community and, fighting with people about stupid movies, like Halloween Ends. And that's what I guess kind of brought me happiness and solace, outside of my family, of course, and all that. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, it was a way to kind of scratch an itch, I guess. It's always given me a purpose to move forward. Not saying that I ever want this to be full time. That's not in my head right now. It's still not in my head. But I don't want to stop. And that's just because I enjoy doing this. I just got this freaking new mic recently. And I think that rejuvenated me to want to do it even more. I think I'm the type of person that I get bored with things kind of staying the same. I constantly like evolving. That could be even in equipment. It could be my style of video, my backdrop. My backdrop has changed at least probably a dozen times since I've started. It's been a long road looking back on it. And it's been rewarding. It really, really has. So I guess that's the best way to open this. I do come from, like, if you're just now jumping on my channel, I was in the military for 24 years. I retired, and I told myself my very last year in the military, 2015 was my last year. I retired in 2016. That's when I started doing YouTube. I said I kind of wanted to start YouTube during my very last year of the military and see how I like it. And then it just kind of crossed over after my retirement. I kept doing it. I didn't know if I'd still be doing this after I retired. But I definitely didn't think it would turn into anything like it has. But I guess this is a video to say thank you for being here. I get comments from older videos, and sometimes you'll scroll through the comments from those old videos and you'll see like names that you haven't seen in, could be 10 years, could be 9, could be 8 years. It's interesting. You see people come and go, not just in creators, but also audience. It's weird how you'll see some audience, or maybe they just changed their usernames. I don't know, but you'll see like people viewing your videos for like a certain amount of time, and then they're gone, and then you'll see a new crop, and they're gone. And then there's some people, they've been here the whole run. And it's ever evolving in every single way. And I think I didn't want to make this like a how to succeed on YouTube video, and it's not that at all. But I do think to just kind of dip my toe into that territory here, evolving is a major part of this. I think anybody that does this for an extended amount of time, you're probably not going to want to do this exact same thing you did in year 1 as you did in year 10. But going forward in 2025, I woke up yesterday morning, January 1st, feeling very, very hopeful and wanting to try some different things and still do some of the same things in 2025. I always like giving myself a challenge. I do need to collaborate more. I've always been a very introverted person, and that's why you don't see people on my streams all the time. Rarely even. Yeah, I do it from time to time, but that's something I'd like to do more of in 2025 is, I've even like talked to some new friends of mine, like Adam Does Movies and Cosplay Chris. And I got to thank Cecil for that. Cecil from the Horror Show. He was actually going to put together this stream with us and Hack the Movies. And it was going to be really cool, but then Cecil got sick. But that whole, even though it never happened, that whole experience made me think, wow, I do need to do this more, to collaborate more. And, like Cosplay Chris even like reached out to me and was like, hey man, kind of bummed out. It would have been cool if we hung out. And I messaged or I left a comment on Adam's video when he did his like little update video recently. And he's like, yeah, man, we got to collab. So look for more of that stuff in the future for sure. Now, as far as like patrons and channel members, I just started the channel member thing a few months ago, and that's been growing nicely. The patrons have been growing nicely. I'm definitely stepping up my time with my patrons and channel members, and I'm trying to do every other. Right now, I think it's going to be Thursday, but it could change depending on my wife's schedule. But I'm going to try to at least do this like twice a month with just my channel members and patrons, doing an hour live stream 2 times a month. And we can just shoot the shit and talk about life, and maybe we'll, do a topical type thing, and it'll be really fun. So definitely look forward to that. If you're not a channel member or a patron, definitely check out my patron page. Hit the join button if you want to check out the channel member side of things. Yeah, that's something I definitely took for granted, because I've had like a patron page for quite a few years now. And, you have a life, you have a family, you have responsibilities, you have a full-time job, and it's hard to make time for every single thing you want to do. And I recently cut away some tiers in my my patron and channel members, so that way I could make more time for them. So that's going to be fun. And last thing is, for you guys, let me know down in the comments some things that you would like to see in the future for this year on the channel. I'm in the middle of doing these top 10s and I'm getting so much great feedback on that. Is that something that you would like to see more of? Like at least maybe once or twice a month, I give you a top 10 and maybe let the patrons and channel members help decide what I want to do. And maybe even like, you know, just the general audience. Is that something you guys would like to see more of? Please let me know down in the comments. Because this is a collaborative effort in not just creators, but also audience. You guys, when you give me ideas, that's collaborative. I love that. You know, that puts a little bit of your stamp on the video, and that's what I want to do. I want to make content that you want. So I guess that's the biggest thing, is let me know what you want in the comments. Of course, I'm still going to be doing the reviews and all that. Also, as far as like a goal, I always set like small goals, but as far as subscribers, I've never really set a goal, or at least I've never said it out loud what I'd like to do. But I'm less than 40,000 away from 100,000 subscribers, and I would love to reach that, but I'm not going to push it too hard, because 40,000 is still a lot to get in a year's time frame. So I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to, you know, try to be strategic about it. But I think I'm a channel right now where I'm happy with the views, but I think my view rate and my subscriber rate are kind of skewed. Like, I don't get the subscriber. Like, I've seen some other channels that get the views that I get, and they just get subscribers like up the yi-yang. And then here I am, and sometimes I'll get 100 subscribers a month. And I'm not complaining, but I'm complaining a little bit. So I don't know what the answer is to that. Maybe it is me switching up my content and doing more rankings and whatnot. You know, I don't know. Maybe you guys could help me with that, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm not happy where I'm at. Don't get me wrong, okay? I don't. At the end of the day, it's about making content that I enjoy doing, that's for my audience, all right? And if the subscriber rate's not there, I'll take the views over subscribers any day, right? But it would be nice to move up into the 70s and 80s, and maybe, God willing, 100,000, okay? So yeah. So I think that's enough of my babbling. 10 years, I still can't believe it. It's been 10 freaking years, and so much has happened in my time on YouTube, and a lot of lessons have been learned. Yeah, just big thank you guys. Again, let me know down in the comments your suggestions, whatnot. But also be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays. We do Free for Fridays. Follow me Drumdums on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Become a channel member. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.